Walk up like you are not asking to be chosen. The way you walk toward her already tells her what kind of moment this is going to be. Before you say one word, she can feel whether you are coming from calm interest or from silent panic. A man can have a good face, good clothes, good height, even good money, and still ruin the approach because he walks up like her reaction will decide his value. He slows down too much, he smiles too hard, he keeps checking her face to see if she approves of him. He laughs before anything is funny, he starts apologizing for taking up space before he has even taken any. And the strange part is, he thinks he is being respectful. He thinks he is making her comfortable. What she often feels instead is pressure, because now she can sense that he is waiting for her to lift him up or crush him. That is too much power to hand to a woman you have not even spoken to yet. When you approach like you are asking to be chosen, you stop moving like a man and start moving like a contestant. You are not really meeting her. You are performing in front of her. Every sentence comes with a hidden question underneath it. Do you like me? Am I doing well? Should I keep going? Did that sound stupid? And because you are watching yourself so closely, she cannot relax with you. She is not feeling a real person in front of her. She is feeling a man trying to manage the whole scene. There is a difference between being interested in her and placing your whole mood in her hands. Interest says, I saw you, I wanted to speak, so I came over. Neediness says, please respond in a way that makes me feel like I am enough. One is attractive because it has air in it. The other feels heavy because she can tell you need the moment to go your way. Walk up like you already have a life waiting for you after this conversation. Not arrogantly, not cold, just steady. Your steps do not need to rush. Your face does not need to beg. Your voice does not need to jump 3 levels higher because she is pretty. You can notice her without acting like she is the final answer to your whole day. That is the kind of energy that changes the first few seconds. You are not trying to convince her that you deserve to be there. You are simply there. You give her a clean opening, you let her receive it, and you pay attention to what comes back. If she is warm, you continue. If she is not, you do not collapse. You do not punish her. You do not start fighting for the moment. You stay intact. And that is what makes the approach feel different. She is not being chased by a man who needs something from her. She is being approached by a man who can handle whatever happens next. Start with the moment, not a line. A rehearsed line can sound clever in your head and still feel strange when it leaves your mouth. You walk up with some polished sentence you saw online, and the problem is not always the words. The problem is that the words do not belong to the room. They do not belong to her mood. They do not belong to what is actually happening between you two. She's standing by the counter waiting for her drink, or checking something on her phone, or laughing with her friend. And you arrive with a sentence that sounds like it was built for any woman, anywhere, at any time. That is why it lands flat. She can feel the gap between the moment and your performance. You are not responding to real life. You are trying to insert a script into it. Start with what is already there. If the place is crowded, speak from that. If the music is too loud, speak from that. If she is holding a book, looking at the menu too seriously, wearing something interesting, standing near you in a line, or reacting to something funny that just happened, use the moment. Not as a trick, as a way to show you are present. A natural approach does not feel like you dragged her into your plan. It feels like both of you are already standing inside the same little scene, and you simply opened a door in it. That is why a simple comment can work better than a perfect line. This cue is moving like they are cooking the food from scratch. You looked at that menu like it offended you. I was going to pretend I knew what to order, but now I'm not so sure. It does not have to be genius. It has to feel alive. When you start with the moment, you also protect yourself from trying too hard. You are not standing there searching for the magical sentence that will make her fall for you. You are giving her something easy to respond to. That matters because the first job of the approach is not to win her. The first job is to make the interaction feel normal enough for her to stay in it. A woman who was not thinking about you 5 seconds ago is not usually ready for intense attention, deep compliments, or a full romantic pitch. She needs a second to feel your energy. She needs to see whether you are relaxed, whether you can read the room, whether you can talk without making the air tight. The moment gives you that. It keeps you grounded. It stops you from sounding like you are auditioning. And when you can make a simple, real moment feel easy, you become far more interesting than the man who came prepared with a line but forgot to notice the woman in front of him. Do not approach her like she is already above you. The fastest way to make a woman feel unreachable is to treat her like she is unreachable before she has even done anything. You see her face, her body, the way she carries herself, the attention she gets when she walks into a place, and suddenly your whole energy changes. You stop seeing a person and start seeing a prize. Now your voice becomes too careful. Your shoulders tighten. You start choosing every word like one wrong sentence will get you thrown out of the room. And she feels that. She feels when a man is not talking to her, but talking up to her. She feels when he has already decided that she is the important one and he is the lucky one for even getting close. That does not make her respect the approach. It makes the whole thing feel uneven from the start. You have to stop giving a woman a throne just because she looks good from across the room. She may be beautiful. She may be used to attention. She may have men trying to impress her all the time. None of that means you walk in like you are beneath her. A beautiful woman is still a woman standing in a room, having a day, dealing with her own thoughts, checking her phone, wondering if her hair looks right, thinking about what she needs to do tomorrow. When you remember that, you stop acting like you are entering some impossible test. You can speak to her with warmth without shrinking. You can compliment her without worshiping her. You can be interested without handing her the power to decide whether you are valuable. That is the balance a lot of men miss. They either come in too aggressive, trying to prove they are not intimidated, or they come in too soft, hoping she will be kind enough to let them stay. Neither one feels steady. Approach her like she is someone worth meeting, not someone you need to survive. That one shift changes everything. Your eyes stay calm, your words come out cleaner. You do not rush to fill every pause because you are not terrified of silence. You do not overpraise her because you are not trying to buy her approval with compliments. You do not act shocked when she laughs or responds well because deep down you did not walk in believing you were out of place. And if she is not interested, you do not turn bitter. You simply take the answer and keep your frame. That is what makes you different. You are not begging beauty to validate you. You are meeting a woman as a man who knows he belongs in the conversation too. Let your first words sound human, not rehearsed. Your first words do not need to sound perfect. In fact, perfect can work against you. When a man opens with something too polished, too smooth, or too clearly practiced, a woman can feel the machinery behind it. She knows this is not really how you speak. She knows you have probably said it before or watched someone else say it. So instead of listening to you, she starts studying you. Is this a routine? Is he trying to work me? Is he going to turn weird if I do not respond the way he wants? That is why simple can beat clever. A relaxed, I had to come say hi, can land better than a whole line built to sound charming. Not because the words are magic, but because they sound like they came from a real man standing in a real moment. A human opening has breath in it. You are not rushing. You are not dumping too much energy on her at once. You are not trying to make her laugh in the first 3 seconds like your life depends on it. You say something clean. Then you let the moment answer you. Maybe she smiles. Maybe she gives a short response. Maybe she looks busy. You pay attention. That is where confidence really shows. Not in how loud you are. Not in how many jokes you can throw at her. It shows in whether you can stay present after the first sentence. A lot of men prepare the opener and then panic when real conversation begins. They have the line, but not the calm. They have the compliment, but not the ability to listen. They get the first word out, then start racing because they are afraid the moment will die. And that fear is what kills it. Say less than you think you need to say. Let your voice sound like your normal voice. Let your face relax. Speak to her like she is a person you noticed, not a target you are trying to capture. If you compliment her, make it clean and grounded. You have a really calm energy. That color looks good on you. You seemed interesting, so I came over. Then stop. Let her have space to respond. The man who can let his words stand without chasing them looks different. He does not pile on 5 more sentences because he is scared one sentence was not enough. He does not explain a compliment until it becomes uncomfortable. He does not turn the first moment into pressure. He gives her something real, watches how she receives it, and moves from there. That is what makes the approach feel natural. Not perfect, natural. And natural is what most rehearsed men can never fake. Make her curious without cornering her. Curiosity does not grow when you crowd the moment. It grows when she feels something interesting about you and still has room to move toward it on her own. A lot of men approach a woman and immediately start pressing too hard. They ask too many questions back to back. Where are you from? What do you do? Are you single? Can I get your number? Why are you here? Now the conversation stops feeling like a conversation and starts feeling like she is being interviewed by a man who is trying to secure a result before she changes her mind. Even if she was slightly open at first, that kind of pressure can make her close up. Not because you are ugly, not because you had no chance, because you made the whole thing feel like work. You want to give her something to respond to without making her feel trapped inside your attention. Say one thing, then let her meet you there. Tease lightly if the moment allows it. Share a small piece of yourself instead of turning the spotlight fully on her. If she says she came with friends, you do not need to immediately ask who they are, where they are, how long she is staying, and whether they will mind you talking to her. You can simply say, "That makes sense. You have the look of someone who came out to have fun, but still wants to leave at a reasonable time." Now you have given her something with personality. She can laugh, correct you, agree, or push back. That is how curiosity starts. She is not being dragged through a checklist. She is getting a sense of how your mind works. The best kind of approach leaves her feeling like there is more to you than what you rushed to show her. You do not need to reveal your whole life in 3 minutes. You do not need to explain your job, your ambition, your standards, your past, your heartbreak, and why you are different from other men before she has even decided whether she enjoys your presence. Let her discover you in small pieces. Give her a calm look. Give her a sentence that has some life in it. Give her a reason to smile without making her responsible for your confidence. Then watch what she does with that space. If she leans in, you continue. If she gives short answers, looks away, checks her phone, or keeps turning back to her friend, you read it and adjust. Curiosity only works when she feels free. The moment she feels cornered, she stops wondering about you and starts looking for a way out. Stop trying to win her in one conversation. One conversation is not enough time to make a woman fully understand who you are, and trying to force that only makes you look anxious. You approach her, she gives you a little warmth, and suddenly you start acting like you have to complete the whole story before the moment ends. You tell her too much, you explain too much, you try to be funny, deep, impressive, mysterious, successful, confident, and different all at once. The more you try to make sure she sees your value, the harder it becomes for her to simply enjoy you. She is no longer meeting you. She is watching you sell yourself. And even when the sale is good, it still feels like a sale. A strong conversation does not need to answer everything. It only needs to create a good enough feeling for the next step to make sense. That could be a number. That could be a short exchange before you leave. That could be a smile and a moment she remembers later. You do not need to squeeze the entire connection into one meeting. When you overstay, overtalk, or keep reaching for one more joke, one more compliment, one more reason for her to like you, you start draining the very energy that made the moment work. There is a point where the conversation is still alive, and that is often the best time to leave. Not because you are playing a game, because you understand that good energy can be ruined by a man who does not know when to stop. Let the moment breathe. If it is going well, do not panic and try to lock it down with too much intensity. Say something simple. I like talking to you. Let me get your number and we'll continue this another time. Then be quiet. Let her answer. If she says yes, good. If she hesitates, you do not start negotiating with her face. If she says no, you do not turn the whole thing sour. You smile, you say, no worries, enjoy your night, and you leave clean. That exit says more about you than another 10 minutes of trying to convince her. A man who can leave without bitterness, pressure, or embarrassment is rare. He does not need the moment to prove he is worth something. He already knows he is. That is why his presence lingers. The real skill is not learning how to force a woman to like you when she already decided she is not interested. You cannot talk a woman into real attraction by trapping her in a conversation, flooding her with compliments, or performing confidence like a role you are playing. What you can do is stop ruining your chances before she has even had a chance to feel you properly. You can stop walking up like her approval is the prize. You can stop treating her beauty like it makes you smaller. You can stop entering the moment with a rehearsed line and start speaking from what is actually happening in front of you. That is where your approach begins to feel different. Not louder, not flashier, different. A woman can feel when a man is trying to take something from the moment. Attention, validation, proof, a phone number he can show himself later to feel like he did well. She can also feel when a man is simply adding something to the moment. Calm, ease, a little humor, a little presence, a conversation that does not make her feel trapped. That second kind of man does not need to dominate the room. He does not need to make a speech about who he is. He comes in clean, reads what is in front of him, gives her a chance to meet him, and does not fall apart if she does not. That is attractive because it feels grown. It feels steady. It feels like he has handled himself before and will handle himself again. So when you approach her, do not go in trying to win your whole future in one conversation. Go in like a man who saw someone interesting and decided to speak. Keep your voice calm. Keep your words simple. Pay attention to what her body, face, and energy are telling you. If she opens the door, walk through it slowly. If she does not, leave without making it ugly. The way you leave is part of the approach too. She may not remember every word you said, but she will remember how the moment felt. And if you gave her ease instead of pressure, confidence instead of performance, and interest without desperation, you have already done what most men never learn how to do. You made the approach feel good, even before attraction had time to decide where it wanted to go.